Okay.
Give me your best and I won't turn it down. 'Cause you're always out to impress. You're always out to impress. You're always out to impress. This is the highlight. Nothing dragging us through the thorns. This is the best time to be unhonorable and live like we're gonna die. Do things we never done before. This is the highlight. The highlight. No, it won't. You want to make sure the fit. This is when you be selfish. And I tell people, don't be selfish. But sometimes you got to. Selfish with yourself. If this person can't meet my 3 things, can't do it. Can we at least negotiate right here? There's a no, solid no, then fine. Then the other thing I want you to do is write down your 3 deal breakers. This is absolutely a deal breaker. If this happens, it's a deal breaker. I don't want to experience. It's a deal breaker. Y'all know what I'm saying? It's like that relationship that you like, I'm with you, we good, but you keep, that is a deal. I gotta go now. That's a deal. I'm not gonna be able to do this. You have to find that stuff out right now. You can't wait till you sign the contract, y'all. You gotta do that now. Okay? So when you leave today, when it comes to agency, you should already know. Now, if you sign with somebody and it's a bad contract, it's on you. Because you didn't take your time. This is why it's called negotiation. This is when you say, in the second paragraph, line 4, it says, da-da-da-da-da. If you don't, what is that? No, I'm looking for such and such and such. This says exposure. What kind of exposure? Talk to me about exposure. Exposure how? Just by conversation?
Come here for a minute.
Want the internet exposing me? You want to get me on TV exposure? What? This is where you got to be so specific, y'all. Y'all missing y'all opportunities in career because you don't know what you want. You don't know what you really, really want. You got to dig down and figure out, what do I want? This is what I had to do for myself. What do I want? You know what I mean? Clients laughed, thought I was crazy, started a modeling company with all shapes and sizes. That was crazy. Then I had the nerve to try to find work with these same people. They like, I'm not hiring them. They don't have this and the third. So then what I do, I started taking out loans. I started calling family members. You don't have to. You know what? I'm going to create my own opportunity. Spend all this money doing big fashion shows and print work. And then I had photographers that was lazy or wasn't getting my pictures back on time. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know when a photographer say you're going to get your picture next week and you don't get it. And then it's in following week, you still don't get it. That's why they can do that. Because why? Why you don't own the rights? You didn't sign the model release. They tell you what they want.
Just cut that down.
This is what sets you apart from the next person. Make your own contract. It's thousands of templates online. Get a template. Make it your own. Print it out. I'm shooting today. You got your model release. Oh no. Well, here's mine. I need you to sign it. This says I'm going to get my pictures back this time. High resolution. And you're not going to sell my pictures. We're both going to be on promotion. That means I can promote your work for free. You can promote my work for free. Don't put my picture on something and then stock photo and then now you sold it. And I ain't get no money, but you did. You just took the picture. You wouldn't have made the money if it wasn't for me. But why can they do that? Because y'all, we got to get it. So that's what I had to stop modeling for a while. And even in the agency, I had to pull back for a second. I was like, I need 90 days. Y'all give me 90 days. And these 90 days, this is what I need y'all to do when I come back and things will change. But I'm only going to be able to ride with people after 90 days if you're doing this. If you don't even, because I had to start now, these models, they're not even up to what I need. See, if I'm going and I'm banging on doors for my models, and then you showing up crazy, this is why they saying they don't want to hire models like this. Okay? So make sure that you're doing what you have to do. Now, let me move on to freelance. Freelance modeling is fun. Freelance modeling can be lucrative. Because guess what? You control your own money. You control your own bookings. You control your own everything. If they don't, there's clients that offer me something now. Nope, I need this. What's your work? What's your work? This is the other thing. And this is why I want y'all to be honest. I'm not trying to bash anybody. This is a learning experience. Who has a rate? If I said right now, today, I want to hire you for 6 hours, how much you charge? You wouldn't know. If I say tomorrow, I got this thing going on, I need you for 6 hours, how much you charge? How much you charge? How much you charge? How much you charge, dear? What? For hour or for the day rate? How much you charge? I probably want G. How much you charge? $8 an hour. How much you charge? Now, I'm talking real. Don't make up a number, y'all. How much you charge? How much you charge? Okay. So everybody that said they got a fee, raise your hand. No. Meaning they already. This is what they'll tell a person. If you do not already have a price, it's fine. This is what we learning, right? But the people that say this is what I charge right now, raise your hand. It depends on which person. Okay, so if I want you for 6 hours to do 3 outfits, photo shoots for a catalog. I will have to look at my paperwork. Okay, so you don't know. $500 for the day? Well, I don't know what kind of catalog you're talking about. But you said 500 before you found out. Yeah. No, so you're right. So 500 for the day? Yeah. So if I want to sign you right now, say I need you 6 hours, you're available, $500. 3 outfits, yeah. 3 hours. Where's your contract? So I can't even give you a deposit. Where your contract? I'm ready to book you right now. So are we?
All right, guys. We're going to jump into topic today. I just wanted to give y'all a little piece of that. That video is going to be available. I've been working on a online classroom so that the videos you guys actually log in, watch replays, and as I upload new information that you guys can actually go in and use that as like your backstage pass to get in, log in, find out more information and watch, so you can have continuous training throughout the month and throughout the week. When you feel like, hey, I want something else, let me learn more about this specific topic. I'll be uploading stuff there. So prayerfully, I will have this loaded and ready when we start in January. That's my plan. By the end of January, I will have it together and up and rolling for you guys. Last week, we did cover some of them things when it came to, what would you want in your model, your contract, what's your deal breakers, so hopefully that gave you guys an opportunity to start expanding your mind and kind of thinking about what is it that I really do want, because it's not just about the agency, it's about what I want too. So when it's time for me to sign, if it's time for me to re-sign, if it's time for me to renegotiate at this particular point, you know what it is that you want and what it is that you're looking for. And that's the big thing. When we talk about agency versus freelance, and I mentioned this before, that it's not about the agency alone. And a lot of times we go in there one-minded because we just excited to sign that contract. So make sure that you guys take the opportunity. If your goal is to sign with an agency, make sure that you take that opportunity to figure out what it is that you want before you go to negotiation period. Some contracts will even say, you have to sign this contract in the next 24 hours, or you only have 7 days and this would expire. If people are going to put a lot of pressure on you to sign the contract within a short frame of, time frame, you need to ask them, well, why? Well, maybe I want to take this to, my lawyer to look at it, or somebody could do a consultation with me to make sure that I'm signing something good before I sign it. No matter what place you go to outside of the modeling industry, they will give you time. You can go in to buy a car, and if you don't want to buy that car that day, they have to give you time, right? If you go to buy a house, they have to give you time, right? This stuff doesn't have to happen right then and there. So it's no different with the modeling contract. You just have to make sure that, okay, if you're telling me I have to give this back to you in 24 hours, why? I need an opportunity to really look at it and then come back to ask you questions. Why would it expire so soon? Now they say, well, I got this job for you. I need to promote you by this particular day. So this is why I need to sign. Well, if they have a reason to why versus, well, it's just our policy. We only give our models 24 hours. Something like that is not necessarily what you guys are looking for, right? So just make sure that with that being said, that you kind of think about that pressure. Sometimes people put that pressure on you to say, oh my gosh, what is it that why do I have to sign this contract in 24 hours? Or why are you only giving me 4 or 5 days to sign this contract? Tonight, we are going to be going over an example contract. This example contract is actually a contract of one of our models that are currently doing group coaching with us. So I want to be very clear that this is confidential information. I tried my best to take out information that was personal, as well as the name of the company and things of that nature. So I don't want you guys, if you see that I may have missed a spot or something like that, this is confidential information, and I don't want this particular contract that we use in an example to be put on any type of promotion or used against the model and or her modeling company. So I just want to make sure that's clear before we go forward. I did want to have an opportunity to use a modeling contract from a model that you guys are already working within, so that works out so that you guys can see. And then also ask real life questions. This contract that I'm going to share with you guys tonight is literally that. Is right now, this is a modeling agency that's putting out information and signing models right now. So this is an example of, oh, wow, if I was to sign with an agency like this, this is what they're saying in 2018. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to bring up that information so that we can kind of go over it. And then I'm going to give you guys some pointers. I want you guys to take notes. So if you don't already have a pen and paper, take notes for me so that at the end, when you guys may have questions, we can really go over everything about the questions. And what I probably do is have it where we have questions through maybe each paragraph, because sometimes it can get very difficult. So I'm going to zoom this out. Can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I see.
Okay. So basically in this first paragraph, majority of modeling agency contracts starts off the same way, basically saying your legal name. If you have a brand name that you're going using and it's not your real name, but it's a name that you're branding, they always want to know what that name is, your alias that you may be going by, so they know exactly who they're representing, and it will also reflect on this particular contract. So as you can see, it say, I am only assigned model of this particular company. And basically, wait a minute. Okay, so what I'm going to do is say ABC company, just for the lack of the agency name. I'm going to say agency ABC. So this particular company, ABC agency, is saying I am only assigned model with ABC agency, and it's not under any other parent company, which make me an ambassador and brand for ABC that you are going to be in agreement with. Now, what this contract states is that this is an exclusive agreement. However, the model can still work with photographers. So that means, as a model, this contract, just based off the first paragraph, is saying I'm an exclusive agency, but they're really a non-exclusive agency, but they want exclusive rights. This is in the first paragraph. We haven't even got through it yet. So what they're saying is, even exclusive agency, guys, as we went over before, Exclusive agency when there's a agency that's paying you a salary a year. This is where your supermodels live at. They're paying you a salary. If they're not paying you a salary, they're giving you some type of stipend. They're giving you some type of retainer. They're giving you some type of bonus for signing. They're giving you something to meet you in the middle where it comes to being an exclusive agency. When somebody wants an exclusive rights of you and you can't work with nobody else, that means you can miss out money that could be on the table because they're saying you only can be with me. So for somebody to only say that you can be with this agency, they need to be coming to the table with something. So right there will already kind of raise the antennas that, oh, I am an exclusive contract, but I can work with any photographers of my choosing. So what they're saying is you can't work with another agency. You can't work with another brand. You can't get any other work outside of this contract. But you can work with photographers of your choice. Y'all with me so far?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now it says, I hereby appoint the ABC agency as my exclusive agent manager for purposes set forth. So what is that saying again? Exclusive rights. I am the only person that can manage you. I am the only person that's your agent. Me or anybody that works in ABC agency. They're making this very clear in the beginning that this is exclusive. I acknowledge and agree that ABC agency currently has an effect agreement with other persons that are the same, similar to this agreement. So what they saying is, I understand that I'm not going to be the only model that you guys are representing. You are representing other models that are like me. So they're putting that out there. They're letting you know that you're not going to be the only model that we're signing. And we're not going to be the only model that looks like you. Your height, your weight, your size, your color, you're not the only person. So then the next part, part 3 says agency responsibility. So this is what the agency is responsible for. So ABC agency shall perform the following duties on my behalf. A magazine feature with ABC agency agrees to publish selected photographs of myself either in a print or online magazine whenever and as often as possible. I understand that my future in any publication, either print or online, is the sole discretion of the magazine staff. It is not guaranteed and our merit of performance based on this agency shall make responsible efforts to secure features for me with other publications outside of the brand. So in part A, what they're saying is they have their own magazine. So ABC agency has their own magazine and they are going to promote you as a model in their publication. And with them promoting you as in the publication, they're saying that they're going to do it, but they're not guaranteeing you how often they're going to do it. But they are saying that we will put you in our magazine. And they're also saying that within this magazine that you're going to be promoted, it can be online or it can be printed. So they're not promising you that it's going to be both. They're just saying that you're going to have this opportunity, and I can't guarantee to you how often you're going to be in that particular, publication. Marketing promotion, ABC agency agrees to publicize, promote, market, advance my status, name, pictures, and or persona as a model in all social media to include Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, websites, and the magazine and its divisions as long as I am adhering to Section 4 of this agreement, which is the next one under model responsibilities that we'll go over next. So what are they saying, guys? We're going to market and promote you. Market and promote me doesn't necessarily say that you're going to get me work. It says I'm going to market you and promote you, meaning they're agreeing to publicize and promote you and market you based on your name with your pictures on their social medias, including Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and their website and their magazine. But you're not telling me that you're pitching me to brands, that you are actively looking for work, that in your marketing promotion is not standing that I have an agent that's dedicated to looking for work for you. Now, they can't guarantee you the work, of course, unless they are the actual client. But the fact that they're telling you, I'm going to market and promote you, we want to get a little deeper than that. What does that mean? They're telling you, I'm going to market and promote you on my website, on my all of my social medias, as well as my magazine. So then you got to ask yourself, is that enough for me? That I'm just going to be on your social media and your website? Where's the pitch? Where are you sending my information to? Who are the clients? Why aren't you telling me I'm going to be sending you casting calls? I'm going to be sending you out to get work. I'm going to be actively looking for work. That should be important for a model. And that should be under agency responsibility. Agency responsibilities is for you to find me these types of opportunities. They can't guarantee you work, but why isn't it saying that this is what I'm going to do for you? So that should be a red flag. That should be a question that you have to ask yourself if this was your actual contract. Where are you saying that you're working for me? How are you finding me work? They would have said, well, I'm on different portals. I'm on different sites. I'm doing research. I'm connected with whoever. I'm going out to networking events, 4 days a week, 20 hours a week. I'm working on looking for you, They don't say that at all. Okay? Under marketing promotion. They're only telling you, and this is an exclusive contract, they're only telling you, I'm going to promote you on my social media, I'm going to promote you on my website, and I'm going to promote you in my magazine, and I can't even guarantee you how often I'm going to do that. That's the promotion. Then the next one, consultation and representation of ABC agency will provide a consultation and representation of all matters pertaining to the modeling and the entertainment industry and shall represent at all times. So what they're saying is, when I'm promoting you, and when you're promoting you, and when things come my way to the agency, or when you bring things to the agency, because it's an exclusive contract and you only can work with photographers, you can't work for nobody else. So when all these things come full circle and it comes back to the agency, what they're telling you is, I'm going to represent you in all matters. I'm going to be the one to do any consultations with any potential work. The agency is going to be doing that, not you as a model. The agency is going to do that. Okay. Now that's the agency responsibilities in this particular contract. So you have to figure out, well, do I want my agency to do more than just promote me on their social media, put me in their magazine? Do I want more as their responsibility? Now let's see what they're asking the model. What is it that they want the model to do? So already they got 3 bullet points. They go to A to C. You go down to model responsibility, we already at E. So you already asking the model for more than what you putting out. It's only 3 bullet points under what you're responsible for, but you got a lot of responsibility on the model. So what we're going to see here, section 4, which they was referencing a minute ago, was the responsibilities of a model, the responsibility of a model to the agency. That a model is expected to maintain the image and appearance, both physical and now this part right here is good because as an agency, you want your model to look good. You want your model to feel good. You want your model to be at their best at all times so that you can represent the brand, represent the agency. So it's nothing wrong with them saying your image is going to be important and we need you to maintain it. There's nothing wrong with that. Then it goes down to also understand I expected to represent myself at the agency. Okay, so the next part is you're representing the agency. When you go out in any facet, you are representing ABC agency. So now they're responsible for you. So when you go out, it not only are they responsible for you, but when you go out, you better say their name. Everywhere you go, you are promoting their agency. Okay, I am Danielle and I'm with ABC agency. Everybody should know that. It doesn't matter what event you go to. It doesn't matter what job you may have. It doesn't matter if you're working for with a photographer. They want to know that you are putting out their agency. So you have to be comfortable whether you're finding your own work or they're finding you the work. You have to be comfortable that I am representing ABC Models at all times. Then the next part talks about that you agree to promote the agency and all of the fellow models on social media. So what does that mean? That means if you do an event, if you have an agency day, or if your agency has something going on, that you got to promote the rest of the models as well on your page. So one, you're saying that you're ABC Models, and then two, all of the models with me, I'm promoting them too. So now you're responsible for promoting yourself and promoting the other models. Okay, so they're getting extra promotion out of you because you now responsible to do both. It's in their contract, right? So then it also says that the model agrees and understand that all promotional materials where any logo, name, or brand is represented must be approved by the agency before you prior to you releasing it publicly. So if there is, it could be the photographer that they said you can work with. They need to approve the picture or the advertisement or whatever it is before you release it to the public. They have to see it first, okay? So then the next part, I will make every attempt to attend the events, the functions, meetings, gatherings set by ABC Agency, the staff of the agency, the magazine in Atlanta or other states or wherever possible. So what do they mean by that? That means if they have a company and event, they expect you to be there. They expect you to be at company events, meetings, gatherings that may have nothing to do with a job opportunity, but you're expected to be there. And no matter what state that they're having this particular thing, they're expecting you to be there whenever possible. So even though they say whenever possible, if you miss 3 out of 5 functions, to them, that may not be good enough. So this is an opportunity for you to say, okay, what do you mean by whenever possible? My whenever possible and your whenever possible might be totally different. If I miss 3 and I come to 2, that could be whenever possible for me. But you can be like, well, that's more than the ones that set out. You miss more than half, so we don't want you to be a part anymore. So you want them to clarify when they use phrases like that. The next one say, I agree to represent the brand in my photo shoots, interviews, events, magazine, website features. So what are we saying here? That regardless of you're representing the brand, you're saying the brand, you're always saying that you're ABC Models, no matter what you have to say it. If you go on your own live, if you do your own video, no matter where you are, it's I'm Danielle and I'm with ABC Models or agency, and then you continue. You have to promote their brand. Then all social media sites should and will reflect that I am ABC Model. And all of that will also go for bookings that you are saying that this is who you are with. So the next part of that is explaining that if you don't, deviation from this will be considered defrauding. Okay, so basically what they're saying is if you don't do this, you can be terminated. You can be terminated for not saying that you are with this particular agency, and if you don't have a designated booking email that's going to them. Y'all follow me so far?
Yeah.
Questions about that? Okay. Now the next part is about booking the models. This is where they're saying, okay, this is about your bookings. So hopefully this area, they give us a little bit more detail as to what they're going to do, right? So model agrees that all modeling assignments, features, and projects using ABC Models likeness or image, whether paid or unpaid, shall be procured via the agency. Deviation from this will be considered defrauding. Okay, so what they're saying right here, just in this one line, that again, you agree that all the bookings are going to go through them. Period. So because it's an exclusive contract, you cannot work with anybody else. The only people that they are approving you to work with is the photographer. So the next question that I would have to ask my agency, because this is a loophole, you said that I can't work with anybody else, but you also said in this first line that I may still work with any photographers of my choosing. So what about if that's a photographer that want to pay me? So can I work with the photographer or not? Or are you saying I can work with the photographer, but if the photographer pay me, it's now considered a booking and you guys are gonna handle the booking? This is something that's like a thin line that you guys would want to ask the agency. What does that mean? And once they explain it and it doesn't go with what they're saying in the contract, is the opportunity for them to update their contract. And other thing I want you guys to understand is a lot of these contracts are very basic and they give it to all models, but they also make exceptions to the rules when you put their back up against the wall. So if you ask the right questions, they'll update their contract, or they'll just say it's too much and I'm not willing to do it. But at least you're getting the things that you want out of it. Like last week we talked about, what are the things that you would want in your contract? What would be your deal breakers? You're able to get them to update this stuff, right? Then it talks about the booking fee. So they're going to take 20% out of any bookings. Now, 20% is the going rate. You can be anywhere from 10 to 25%. 25% is kind of high, though. I'm going to tell you that 20% is like right at, the playing game. It's very competitive at that 20%. 70% of modeling agencies are at 20%. But we have to ask ourselves, for this particular contract, you're asking about 20% is a non-exclusive contract. But this is an exclusive contract. So they're not giving you no money up front. They're not giving you no advancements. They didn't say they're going to pay for all your photo shoots. They're paying for your portfolio. You're doing all of that. But then they got to have everything go through them, and then they get 20% of that. So this could be an opportunity for you to negotiate that 20% down if you wanted to. You bring it to them like, well, I'm doing A, B, C, and D. I'm helping find the work. Well, what about if I find the work? Can it be a lower percentage? I was very, very surprised. A model I just recently talked to maybe 2 weeks ago. He's at a contract at 15% with a really good agency where they only taking out 12%. They're only taking out 12%. So getting an opportunity to negotiate down like that to make sure that you are getting all your needs met as well, you can't be afraid to ask for that. Well, we're at 20, but look at me. You're saying in my contract that I have to give you pictures. You guys got to approve the pictures. I got to stay, looking a certain way. I'm out here promoting you. I'm promoting me. I'm promoting the rest of your models. Like, all of this helps you build a case for them to come off that 20%. But if you don't push them to the limit, then you're not going to get it. It's going to stay at 20%. So you have to make sure you figure out what it is that you want, and you're reading these contracts so good that you see, look, they already told you. This is all I'm doing is these 3 bullet points, A, B, and C. I'm going to give you a magazine feature, but I'm not going to guarantee you how often you're going to be in it. I'm going to promote you on my website, on all of my social medias, and in my magazine, and then I'm going to represent you. That's all I'm doing for you. The agency is telling you right here, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm responsible for. But as a model, you're responsible to stay in physical shape, which is good, to obtain a certain image and being able to represent the agency well. You have to make sure you are promoting yourself, the agency, and other models. It's also telling you that you got to make every attempt to come to every function that they have going on. You agree to these different things, no matter what photo shoots, what interviews, anything you promoting them. Then you have to promote them on all your social medias, as well as when it's time to do the booking, whether you find the work or they find the work, you have to give up 20%. That to me is an option of negotiation, and it should be negotiated. Okay. So then the next thing is talking about the termination part. So they're letting you know that no matter what, if you guys don't do these things, you could be terminated, right? Then it also say the model will give prior notice to ABC agency of all casting calls that they plan to attend. Wait a minute. I got to give you notice to the casting calls that I found, that I plan to attend. Why isn't this line on your side too? I'm okay with sharing it, but why is it not on your side? Why didn't you mention in your ABC, why didn't you mention casting calls you was going to find me? Do y'all understand where I'm going at with this? These are the things you really, really, really have to pay attention to. They making it very clear on your end. You better let me know when you're going out on these. But yet, they're not making it clear on their end that I'm even sending you out on them. They're not even saying I'm going to send you out on them and this is what you have to do. No. Now, if they would have said something in their contract like, you have to make it to 70-80% of the casting calls that I send you. That tells me that an agency is working for you. They're going to continue to work for you. And they're looking for models that's willing to go out to these different casting calls. But yet, they don't even have it in there. So they're not even guaranteeing you that they're looking for you any work. So that means you're doing all the promotion, but they're getting the benefits from it. So you have to be very, very careful about that. So it says that all of the ones that you plan to attend as to ensure maximum preparation. So basically, or preparedness. So what they're saying right there is, I want to know about it so I can make sure you prepared. Do that make sense? You could be preparing me already for casting calls that you're sending me out for. Why are you just saying you're going to prepare me for casting calls that I'm finding on my own? And then I'm responsible for reporting to the agency every time I go to these different things, or my contract could be terminated. My contract could be terminated for a job that I found, but you're not telling me what's going to happen. Are you finding me any work? So this same line should be an opportunity for negotiation. Well, I understand that this is here on my end under model responsibility, but I also would like you to put that under the agency responsibility. Because I want to make sure that you're at least looking for work for me. That's a big thing that you guys want to bring to their attention. Then it goes into the next section that talks about the relationship. So you acknowledge and agree, say the thing for any purpose to employee of the agency. Okay, I further acknowledge and agree that the agency shall be liable or responsible for any injury or damage. Okay, so what they're saying right here is they're not responsible for anything that happens to you, which is fine. If anything happens to you on set, if anything happens to you out on the job, you can't sue them. There's no working compensation. There's no unemployment. Everything would be you, and you're responsible for these particular things. All risks, 100% having to do with modeling assignments, is all on you. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it would raise the question, do your company have insurance? So is this here because you don't have insurance? Or is this here because you do have insurance, but you're protecting yourself? This still is okay to have a question for you to know the answer to. You have every right. You're about to sign with this company. You have every right to ask them, do they have insurance or if they don't? So this is a way that you can still make a choice because they're giving you this information up front. So let's just say they say, no, I don't have insurance. Okay. Let's say they do have insurance. Then if they do have insurance, well, I want you guys to understand, and this is why sometimes agencies be like, don't let her look over that contract. if they have insurance, it don't matter how many things they say about they can't do anything, you can sue them. You can still sue them if they have insurance. If they don't have insurance, it's a total different story. So they will put things in their contract as a clause to protect themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. When I was running camps, I did the same thing. I needed people to sign off, that your children is all at risk if they're here and something's happened. But if something was to really happen to their kids while they're in camp, I would be responsible for it. And I know that I'm responsible for it, right? Mm-hmm. And running a camp, you have to have insurance. So depending on what business they have to have these different things in place. But it's good for you to know whether they have it or they don't. So you can know what type of company that you're dealing with. If they don't, it's not like I want you to make your whole decision on that unless that's a deal breaker for you. That could be a deal breaker. You could say, you know what? They don't have any insurance. I'm not signing with them. If that's a deal breaker for you. But if everything that you're doing, you never really meeting them face to face and they're out there finding you work and it's more of an online thing and a telephone thing, you may not need insurance. You are at your own risk. You are now that modelpreneur running your own business. If something was to happen to you, you can get your own insurance as a model. Okay, so what they're letting you know in this section is that we're not responsible for anything that may happen to you out here on a modeling assignment. Okay, the next section, number 7, it talks about images. I certify that I'm the photographer or have received such authorization from the photographer for any and all images that I submit. So this goes back to you are authorized. So this means, did you sign that model release form? Have you created a model release form? Before you give them these images, you have to have authorization that it's okay for you to use these images. It also talks about that when you give these photos, that you are given permission to use these images for promotion, to publish and distribute these images for publications for their profit and or nonprofit. Okay, so let's back up. So we're giving you permission to use this photo. First of all, you got to get permission from that photographer, of course, especially if it's published, if it's going to be published. So you have to get permission from that photographer to say that you're authorized. Then part 2 is, you're now giving them permission to say, oh, well, if we submit your stuff, or we put it in a publication, we put it in our publication that we're going to sell, you're not getting anything from the sale. It's telling you that right here, for profit or nonprofit, that you, on this line right here, you're given permission to use these images for promotion, publish and or distribute these images for other publications, for their profit and or nonprofit. This is what you are agreeing to with this agency. For all liability, damages, expenses, it may occur from publishing or distributing these images, including any persons claiming any interest in the images. You are totally responsible for it. So even if a photographer comes back to try to get the company that published it, you're still the one responsible for it. You also give the agency permission to edit the background of the image as needed. They will submit all information in a timely manner as requested by the agency and or the agents in order to forfeit the opportunities afforded to me. So what does that mean? That means that you're giving the agency permission. They can manipulate the photo if they need to make it to their likings. And you're going to give it to them in a timely manner so that you can't miss, quote unquote, the opportunity that they're giving you, or one that you may have found yourself.
You know,
so
I had
another. Go ahead.
I had signed last year from a photographer about waiving my rights to my photo.
Mm-hmm.
I just sent you the contract in your email.
You sent it today?
Yeah, I just sent it like 20 minutes ago because
Okay.
I was like, what are you saying now is like I did feel comfortable about signing it last year. And I should have went with my instincts.
Definitely. Always.
But I didn't. I still signed it and did the photo shoot. But, you know, really nothing really happened with the photos. Really, I don't know. But I sent you that contract so you to look over it.
Yeah, so I'll look over before your one-on-one so we can kind of discuss that.
Right.
Guys, always, always, always go with your instinct. Like,
right.
That is your internal GPS.
Right.
Like, if you get in that feeling that, no, I shouldn't do this, then don't.
Right.
Like, always go with that feeling. Now, even though your worst case scenario, even though your pictures are not being used or something that you may see right now, doesn't mean in 5 years it won't be.
Right.
Giving up total rights to that picture or pictures from your photo shoot absolutely gives that photographer 100% reign to take your photos and put it on billboards, sell it overseas, put it in publications, sell it on stock photos. It gives them 100% opportunity to do that because they have a signed document saying you gave me permission.
Right.
So, but I will look over it and see if there was any loopholes that I might can help you with or something, you know, to put you a little bit more at ease. So I'll do that with you on your one-on-one this week.
Okay.
So it'll kind of just get you on track with that, okay? But I will definitely look at it. Good point. Okay, guys, we're going to move to the next section, which is social media. Now, this one's saying that I also agree not to submit any images to the ABC agency that has already been posted or shared on any social media outlets. So what they're saying is, don't send me a picture that you already posted. I have to be the first person to post that picture. And then we also read previously that they have got to be the first, they have to approve the pictures too, right? So not only that, they don't want you to send them no pictures. They want whatever pictures that they receive to be the pictures that they use first, that they want to approve. So they also are saying that these pictures that you want to post, and once they approve it, you have to, and I might have took this out, okay, you have to basically use their hashtags. So you can use your hashtags, but you have to use their hashtags. You cannot submit these pictures anywhere else. So if you have this bomb picture, one, you can't post it, and two, you can't submit it for anything. You can't submit it for a casting. You can't submit it for a job. You can't submit it for anything. This is their picture that they're now getting approved, that they're approving that they're going to use for their disposal. And you can't use it. So keep that in mind, that if an agency is saying that, it's like, okay, but wait a minute. You said I can work with my other photographers. So if I just paid for a photo shoot, like hypothetically speaking, let's say it wasn't a TFP. Let's say it wasn't a paid opportunity from a photographer. Or let's just say a photographer is saying, hey, you got to pay me for this. If you're paying for your own shoot, you paying for the shoot to give them the pictures that you can't use? Only they can use? So where y'all photographers at? And the way I'm investing in myself, can you invest in me too? If I can invest in myself and pay for a shoot, can you invest in me and pay for a shoot? These are the things that you have to think about. I can understand you telling me do a photo shoot and I can't get the pictures because you need it to promote me for the agency. I get that 100%. But if I just had to pay for a photo shoot and I got to send you the pictures that I can't even use them for my own whatever, that's going to come back to you anyway, based on your contract, that makes me think like, why? And what can you meet me halfway? I pay for a photo shoot, you pay for a photo shoot, or maybe you got connections with photographers to get some free photo shoots, or what have you. Because you're an agency, this is another thing. This is an exclusive contract, but it's really a non-exclusive contract that wants exclusive rights. Okay, but the way they're wording it, they want it to be exclusive contract. So if it's an exclusive contract, you should be paying for everything. If it's an exclusive contract, you should be paying for everything. Period. Especially if you're not giving an advance, a bonus, a salary. You're not giving me anything. You should be paying for this other stuff. And then what you got to watch out for is when you do sign a contract and they say there's an exclusive contract and they do pay for everything, there's going to be something in that contract where they need a percentage back of that. It's kind of like if you think about the entertainment industry and you hear record labels or you hear artists say that they got an advancement. Hey, I got $10,000 up front, or they gave me $20,000 up front, or whatever that case may be. That advancement means they're going to pay it back. They might not pay it back in a lump sum. They might not pay it back how they gave it to them. It might be over the next 5 years that they signed the contract with. But advancement means you're giving it back. Bonus is when you're not giving it back. Advancement, you're giving it back. So in this particular situation, it should be, okay, if I'm paying for all these things and I'm still giving you 20%. But on the other side, because it's an exclusive contract, why aren't you paying for these things? And then if they are, then you got to be ready for that conversation of them saying, okay, I might take that extra 25% now, whereas though I want additional 5% of every booking to make this money back. Then that might be fair because they done put up the money for you to even get the shoots or whatever the case may be because of an exclusive contract. But this is where you have to really say, as an exclusive contract, really what are you doing for me that I can't work with other people? What are they doing for you? Representing me, promoting me? But I'm still using my own money. I'm still doing everything on my own. This should really be a non-exclusive contract and not an exclusive contract. They have not brought anything to the table that's exclusive. They just making you exclusive to them. But they haven't put anything on the table where they deserve to be exclusive. Y'all follow me? Mm-hmm. This should very much be a non-exclusive contract, giving you guys an opportunity to work with other companies, agencies, being signed to another agency. This contract should be where you can work with brands, you can get your own bookings, all of that should be in there. And we're going to be wrapping up shortly. I know we're coming up a little bit over time. Portfolio, it tells you, okay, reasonable efforts to, okay, so in the portfolio section is basically saying that you should be doing a photo shoot per month with a minimum of 10 per year. Outside for this, as far as promotion, submissions to digital and online publication, any and all promotional materials where, again, they need their logo, their brand, everything must be approved. If you're using their logo on stuff because they're telling you they have to approve the picture. So doesn't that go back to, if I got to send you my picture to be approved by you to use your logo and stuff because you forcing me to use your logo anyway, now we got to be approved by you. But didn't 2 paragraphs ago you say that once they get it, you keep it? And this is confusing. So this needs to be clarified. So if now the fact that you're saying, okay, I have to approve your pictures, you have to use my logo, fine. But in another paragraph, you also said that if I'm giving you the picture, that I can't do anything else with it because now I'm giving you permission to use the picture. So I can't even use it anymore. So this is kind of confusing right here. Then it also says, so you got to do 1 photo shoot per month with a minimum of 10 per year. That's not bad. I tell you guys all the time, I want you to stay shooting at least once a month. So that's not bad at all. Okay. Oh, here we go. The agency will provide one complimentary photo shoot per quarter. Now we talking. They'll give you a photo shoot per quarter every 4 months. Per quarter every 4 months? Isn't a quarter 3 months? So I will be lost right there. These are little misdemeanor mistakes that would be red flags to me. So what you're saying, and I still haven't seen how long this contract is yet. Like that should have been up the top, and I'll go back and double check to make sure I didn't miss it. But I don't see how long this contract is. But in this particular thing, it's how I'm going to give you a photo shoot per quarter. Per quarter is every 3 months, not every 4 months. Say per quarter, every 4 months. It should be 3 months. I would get that corrected on the contract. So you will either take out the word quarter, or you're going to take out 4 months and make it 3 months. So we're going to get that technically correct, okay? Then it also say all others will at the photographer's request, or wait a minute. All others will at the photographer's request or at a pay rate of the photographer's discretion. These images are not to be sent to any other company, brand, publication, editor outside without advance written consent. This is very confusing because it says I'm going to give you a complimentary photo. But then it says all others will be at the, okay, so this question, so this right here says all others will at the photographer's request or at the pay rate of the photographer's discretion. You know what that means? That means I'm going to give you a complimentary photo shoot, but for any edits, for any pictures for your portfolio, for any pictures that you use it for a comp card, you have to pay the photographer's pay rate. So am I really getting a complimentary photo shoot? Then the next question would be, what about hair, makeup, and wardrobe? Is that included or is it not included? Am I responsible for it if I'm not responsible for it? That should also be in this part of the contract. Because you're saying you're giving me a photo shoot, but I need to know what's included in the photo shoot. Are you just taking care of the photographer, or are you taking care of the whole beauty team? Which one is it, right? Then it goes down to brand ambassadors. So this contract talks about brand ambassadors. All offers to become a brand ambassador. Products outside the brand must be approved. Deviation will be considered defrauding. The relationship will immediately be terminated accordingly. But we already know that because you talked about that already, that you can't work with anybody else outside of photographers. Termination of the relationship. Now it says, it's telling you that not representing ABC agency in photo shoots, interviews, and stuff like that, you guys will be terminated. Represented exclusively or non-exclusively with any other company's brands without express advance written consent, you guys will be terminated. Procedure, what's this procedure? Assignments by other means, anything but the agency, missed 3 or more agencies, gigs, photo shoots or conference calls, meetings without a 72-hour advance will be termination. The above mentioned infractions will be enforced by the way of the model disciplinary form, and each disciplinary level will be explained by the agency. So this is giving you why termination. Then it also tells you with the 14 calendar days written notification herein referred to that there's a $1,500 penalty if you guys, hereafter referred to as penalty paid to agency methods of acceptable payments to be discussed. If penalty is not received by the agency within 48 hours of notice being given, model will be required to fulfill the remainder of the agreement term. So basically, if you go outside of this contract and you get terminated, you're going to be fined a $1,500 penalty that could be due within 48 hours of the termination. If this agreement is terminated by the agency due to fraud on the behalf of the model, included but not limited to the guidelines described, will be required to pay that penalty. So that's basically the same thing. They're saying that you will be responsible for that penalty if you terminate your contract. The model forfeit any of the upcoming agency features. See, would this say to me, if the model forfeits any of the agency features, events, and or photo shoots, this tell me that you're only using me as a promotional model for your agency. You're still not really saying what it is that you're going to do for me when it comes to casting calls, jobs, and opportunities. But you are drumming on this contract that this is what I need to do, and this is what I could be terminated for. So it's telling you right here that this will be forfeited or terminated if you don't show up to the company's quote unquote features, events, and photo shoots. Or if you guys are using the pictures and stuff without their logos, social medias, and that sort of thing.
Okay, like when photographers, they take pictures of you and they have their logos on there. Can you use that in your portfolio?
You can, but unless that photographer is a celebrity photographer, renowned photographer, there's no sense of you promoting the photographer in your book. Right,
okay.
So what needs to happen, a lot of times a photographer will sell you a picture like that because they want you to pay for that right where they take it off of the picture. Mm-hmm. They want you to pay for that. They want you to pay for that. And then when they do have it on there, now let's just say it's a photo shoot that you pay for. If they do have it on there and you pay for the shoot, you can tell them, I want that off. I don't want your logo on my final product. Because of course they want to use it because they want to promote themselves. They know that if their logo is on your photo, that they get to promote themselves to your audience. So that goes back to either a model release form or something that you discussed prior to, so that you don't get caught in that situation where it's mandatory for you to do it now. You can let them know, I want my photos back. When you edit them, I want them back without your watermark. The watermark is a technical word for it. Mm-hmm. I want it back without your watermark on there. Have that conversation with them up front. Okay. All right, and so this next part, I'm wrapping up right here. Model also agreed not to work with or participate in any capacity of the modeling agency's brand without advance with written consent. Termination. Okay, so 60 days after termination. So guess what that say? Wait a minute, they haven't even given us, did they give us how long the contract was? I don't think I seen her. Let me go back.
No, they didn't.
They didn't?
No.
Okay.
Because I came in right before you got to that part, and that was one of the first questions I wrote down.
Okay. So that's the thing right there. That's big. That should normally be in the top. In that first, paragraph, when they're explaining that I agree to, you agree to, they should say there that the length of the contract is however long. So this right here doesn't give us a length of the contract, which isn't good. But however, they say that when the contract is done, that you cannot work with any other agency 60 days after it. So that's another biggie. So now I'm not even in contract with you anymore. But I still can't work with any other brands for 2 months. So that's another opportunity for you guys to negotiate and ask them, well, I can't work with any other brands 2 months after their contract is over. And how long is the contract anyway? So is it a year? Is it a 2 year? Is it a 3 year? And a contract like this, first of all, I wouldn't want to sign, because they're asking for exclusive benefits and there's too many loopholes in there, and it's not enough for them saying what they're going to do for you as the model. Again, this should be a win-win situation. It should be where a partnership is meeting. You bringing something to the table, they bringing something to the table. Not you bringing everything to the table. They're the agency, not you. So that's very important. And then the last couple of things it says here is just basically saying that you are signing. Okay, wait. Refusal to sign this agreement will result in immediate termination of relationship. Will remain invalid. Okay, so I guess they are asking here. They're asking for an ID. That you have to give your ID and everything when you sign the contract, which is fine because if they're getting you paid work, they need your ID, they need your social security number. As a freelance model, the guys though, if you're not signed with an agency, do not give anybody your social security number unless it's time for you to get paid. If it's time for you to get paid, then you give them your social security number. But you know what? I'm going back to one paragraph and then I'm going to take questions. There was something else. This states on here something about March 1st. So maybe the model signed it. Maybe this could possibly be a year contract. But there was something else as far as I thought I saw where they're saying a payment that you have to give a payment back to them. I was skimming through, but there was something else that said something about a payment. The payment they could be. So if you guys, no, it couldn't be that because everything is going through them. So never know. If everything is going through them, they shouldn't be asking you for the payment. However, if it's going through them and the company that they booked the job with, normally it goes like this. The agency gets paid whatever it is. Whatever your job is, the agency get paid. Then the agency pay you. At an exclusive contract, that's how it will go. Or a non-exclusive contract where they booked you to work. If you book your own work and it don't go through the agency, if you're a freelance model and you book your own work, then it will be written to you, whatever you have as your business name. Now, the other thing is you guys got to be careful about when it's time for you to get paid, you're not always getting paid within a week or 2 weeks. It could take up to 90 days. Because especially if you get a big contract, what's going to happen is whoever the person that hired you, or let's just say you got a job and they booked you for a Macy's ad or a catalog ad or, something like that. You got to wait for corporate to pay out. Once corporate pay out, then corporate will pay out the person who hired you, which if you're not already with an agency, it might be a casting director or, it may be somebody else playing the middleman. It could be a model scout, something like that. They're paying them the money. And then that person is dispersing the money. So then that person may write you a check that now has to wait to be cleared. You see what I'm saying? So it could be a waiting game for a second where you're not getting paid right then and there. It could take 30, 60, and 90 days. Now, anything over 90 days, it should be a red flag. It's like, what's going on? But don't wait till 90 days because they have 90 days. You should already be following up with them. Okay, 2 weeks later, or once you take the job, when is the payout going to be? That's important. So you're following up with that person that booked you the job, whether it's a model scout or whether it's an agency or whoever. When is it going to be the payout so that you can know when to expect your funds? So I'm going to take this contract. I'm going to stop this screen share right now and take questions. Who had a question about the contract that we just went over?
I have one. Is this a standard contract or is this just is this a standard contract? Because right now it seems like the model is not getting any benefit out of it. So I'm just curious, is this how it is standard?
I can't say it's standard across the board. This is actually an example. I can't really say example contract, but we use this contract as an example tonight because one of the models in the group is actually signed to this company. And I wanted to give you guys a real life scenario, a situation of what's happening. The model is getting some quote unquote benefits out of it. I just kind of ripped it apart for you guys so you can see the other side of things. But you know, the model is still getting some benefits, but there is a lot of things that if I would have had an opportunity to see the contract before she signed it, she either probably wouldn't be signing a contract, or we would have had it where as though her agency will go in and we will be renegotiating the contract so it can be a better opportunity. Now, across the board, across the board, to me, this is more of a non-exclusive contract versus exclusive. For this particular contract to state all these things and being exclusive is really unfair to the model because they're not putting up enough exclusive things for the model to even be a part of an exclusive contract, if that makes any sense. So it should really be non-exclusive. So that would be the first argument point that I would have had, that this needs to be a non-exclusive contract. Also, say that again. I'm sorry.
I was saying thank you because I agree with everything that you were saying, and you know, I was wondering, and you know, was that the case? That's all.
Yeah. And, you know, especially as being like a new model, you know, all the models are in different levels. So being a new model or new to reading contracts or signing, especially if you have a goal to sign a contract, sometimes you may not understand the fine print, or, you know, somebody can sell you on and make it sound real good. They could have met in person. They could have gassed them up. They could have talked to them over the phone. You know, they could have gave them all these accolades. But when it comes to the contract, you may have not really read it at all. Or if you did, you might have thought, oh, this is what she said, or this is what she said, based on the conversation versus, no, this is what they're saying in black and white.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions about the agency contract that we went over tonight? Okay. The model that I helped a couple of weeks ago, I posted her on my Instagram page, the model Maria. She had a contract that I helped her with it as well. She signed the contract back in February. And her issue, I'm just going to mute you really quick. I think that's Anita. She signed the contract back in February, and her particular contract stated that, you know, they were going to start requesting money from her at a certain point. She was very unhappy with, they was sending her some jobs here and there, but the ones they sent her, they never gave her full detail. When she was at a particular job, she didn't feel supported. She tried to contact the agency, the agent, texting, calling, voicemails. They never got back to her to like a week later. So she had some real life concerns. So it's like, even the stuff y'all sent me on, you know, I'm concerned. I feel uncomfortable in this particular atmosphere. You know, who is, you know, you didn't give me enough information about it. Or maybe you sent me the wrong address and now I drove 2 hours to get here and I'm trying to contact you because you sent me the wrong zip code. Or you spelled it wrong and now I went here, but maybe the casting call was somewhere else. You know, so there was like different little things that was going on with that contract. There was another model that I helped last year that was in a contract that was unhappy because she felt like the particular agency just never reached out to her. She was signed, but it was like she was on the shelf. Nothing was happening. Nothing. So at this point, now she's locked into a 2-year contract with, after you exit the 2-year contract, it's an auto renewal to the contract. And you got to give a 30-day notice before that contract ends after the 2 years, or to automatically renew. But then on the flip side of that, even if you gave your notice, 6 months, you're still held to not working with anybody else. So agencies will take advantage of you Photographers will take advantage of you. Brands will take advantage of you if these particular things are not addressed prior to. So to get back to Anita's point earlier about the contract she signed, or she gave up exclusive rights to the photographer, now he owns all the pictures, that gave him an opportunity to do whatever it is he want to do with those particular pictures. He can sell the pictures, he can make thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, it can go viral, and you're not going to see anything out of it, right? You know, it goes back to, okay, if I do sign with this particular agency and using the contract that we talked about tonight, well, wow, I'm doing all the work, but you're the agency. Why aren't you doing all these things? Or why aren't we meeting halfway? Why aren't we meeting halfway? I'm coming to the table with this, you coming to the table with that. Why isn't that happening? So all these things are red flags, and I don't want you guys to be afraid to talk about that. I did work with a model before who was very shy. And she was upset because she wanted to be able to express to them how she felt about the contract, but she was scared and nervous about it because she thought she was going to lose the opportunity. So the opportunity meant more to her to be signed with them, to even say that she signed with them and to get the benefits of working with them versus what was important to her. What was her deal breakers? She went against her own deal breakers to work with this particular company. So she was afraid. If you're afraid to say it now, you definitely going to be afraid to say stuff once you get in the motion of things. But now you signed the contract. So then you're in an even worse position. So doing freelance, which we'll go back to next week, doing freelance modeling is a great thing. Being an agency model is a great thing. The thing is, what's a good fit for you? Do you want to be responsible for your own work, finding your own work, booking your own work, managing on your own schedule, coming up with your own rates? Or do you want somebody else to be able to do that for you and find somebody that's a good fit for you? That's what you guys got to really figure out. And now that we're ending 2018, going into 2019, you have to make a goal. You have to choose between these two for 2019. Which one is it going to be so you can focus on that? You don't have time to try to be doing both. Are you going to go for an agency in 2019 and we go full force for finding you an agency? Or are you going to be a freelance model and develop yourself as a freelance model and go full force with that? We don't have time for the first 6 months of 2019 that you're trying to figure it out. Now is the time to figure out what is it that you're going to do. It's important. Because I want to see more successful stories next year. I want you guys to be much more comfortable with what you're choosing as your goal. And even if you come up with one goal, that's fine. You don't have to have 5 and 10 goals. If you have one goal that you're going to stick with for next year, let's do that and build on that particular goal. The modeling industry is full of opportunities. I say this all the time. People are getting booked every day. Every single day. Every single day. People that look like you, sound like you, doing the same things that you're doing, they're getting booked.
It's in that envelope. Excuse me, y'all.
So tonight, I wanted you guys to I wanted to go over an actual agency contract with you so that you can kind of see what's out there now, give you an opportunity to ask questions and see a real live contract versus just a template that could be online that everybody is using. Keep in mind that when it comes to agency contracts, 9 times out of 10, it's a contract across the board that they're using. If they just interview or talk to 20 models, it's that same contract. You got to be the model to make them change it. I need you to add this. I need you to take this away. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. Don't be afraid to have that conversation with them. And if they feel like that you too much, then that tells you you weren't a good fit for me. Now, you got to be willing to negotiate, though. It's not only about what you want, because it's going to be about what they want as well. If they're requiring you to keep a certain image, you can't do a drastic change. If they want you with long hair, you can't come back next week and it's cut. If they tell you stay this size, you can't go gain weight. That's all in fairness. This is what the agency is asking for you, so you have to do your part as well. But don't be afraid to push the agency for them to do their part. That's the big disconnect. And that's where they're getting over. They're getting everything they want. And all you can say is, I'm signed to an agency. People think when they say they signed to an agency, it makes them this big time model, and it doesn't. Why be with an agency that you unhappy with? If an agency is just like a relationship, why be there just to be there? So you have to make sure that it's a working relationship or partnership, or you both are coming to the table with something. All right. Next week is New Year's Eve for our next, not New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve for our next group coaching. So that coaching is going to be rescheduled to Wednesday, the 26th at 9 p.m. Also this month, we meet 4 Mondays out of a month. This month actually had 5 weeks in it, so we will not be meeting on New Year's Eve. But Christmas Eve has been changed to Wednesday, the 26th at 9 p.m. So just make note of that. If you guys don't have any more questions for me, or if you think of something else, you can feel free to put it in our group chat. And you guys have a great night. The replay will be available tomorrow. And hopefully that you guys are getting ready and excited about your holiday. The holiday season. I will say this tomorrow, guys. Join me for Talk Tuesday. I'll be going live on Instagram at 9 p.m. And I will be talking about getting distracted in the holiday season. As much as I love holidays and I love family, it's a distraction from your business and what you're trying to do. So make sure you don't go this next 2 weeks and take the next 2 weeks off and you're not focusing on the things that you need to for 2019. Don't let 2019 come in and you don't have your goals together. You don't have anything set. You're not sure what you want to do. Don't take the next 2 weeks off. Holiday season is very distracting. So make sure that you make some time to spend with yourself, do a calendar alignment, figure out what you want to do for the year, how you're going to do it, and come full force for 2019. I don't want you guys leaving money on the table, and I don't want you missing opportunities being in a time of distraction. All right? So, okay. So Anita from Chicago is showing us right now the picture. Is that the picture or the magazine?
This the tear sheet from Vogue Italia.
So, girl,
I just had this show and it came Saturday.
So, congratulations again. Like, this is such big stuff. How can I get a copy? I want a copy. Is it like for purchase?
Yeah, it's on. I'll send you the link.
Send me the link. I would definitely love to get a copy. So Anita has a tear sheet where she was shot for Vogue Italia. So Vogue Italia is actually a branch from the Vogue magazine. What was the shoot? A couple of months ago? A month ago now?
It was like a week before Thanksgiving.
Okay. So almost a month.
Was it after Thanksgiving? No, it was after Thanksgiving. It was like 3 days after Thanksgiving.
Okay, we're gonna big that up real big.
I know.
We're gonna big that up real big.
Right.
But it is a big deal. That is such a big deal because now you are a published model for a big publication. You know, so that's a blessing within itself, and it's definitely all worth bragging rights. So we're gonna be bigging it up over the next couple of weeks before the New Year's come in. And I'm going to show you how to leverage that to bring you more opportunities for you just having that opportunity to be published. So I'm excited about helping you with that because that's big news. But definitely email me so I can get that link because I do want to support it.
Okay.
Okay. So guys, we did run a lot over tonight, but I wanted to make sure that I gave you guys the information so that you can know and understand what's going on with learning how to read a modeling contract. So y'all have a good night and Merry Christmas to you. And I'll be talking to you guys soon. Okay. Join me tomorrow.
Everyone have a blessed holiday.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. Good
All right.
night.
Bye.
God bless.